A USG senator weighs in on the calls for his impeachment. Hear why he thinks he's in the right.
The Pac-12 basketball tournament tips off in just a few minutes. We'll take a live look and see how USC is doing in Las Vegas.
And a gas leak in Seattle, Washington triggers a big explosion in a residential area. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
A USG senator is at the center of a controversy that might end with him losing his title. Good evening, I'm Sooji Nam.
And I'm Eytan Wallace. USG Senator Jacob Ellenhorn is not backing down tonight as he faces possible impeachment. USC's program board has filed a formal complaint accusing Ellenhorn, saying he's abusing his power. But Ellenhorn, who's also the president of USC's Campus Republicans chapter, says the complaint brought against him is politically motivated.
And the issue at hand is that they want me removed from my elected position in Student Senate because they disagree with my political views. Like any American, I have the right to speak to whomever I like about whatever I'd like. And the fact that they think that they can control what I can say and can't say is extremely inappropriate and very disturbing. Because they disagree with me, I get to become the symbol of hate on this campus. Don't read my tweets. If you don't like my tweets, you don't have to read them. My tweets have nothing to do with my position as senator.
Now, the complaint against Ellenhorn accuses him of 3 violations. One accusation says Ellenhorn, quote, misuses his title and abuses his power when he writes negative op-eds about fellow USG officials, specifically the directors of the Women's Student Assembly, instead of meeting with them directly to discuss their differences. The complaint also alleges that his involvement as the USC College Republicans president has created a, quote, hostile environment for the USC student body. And finally, the complaint accuses him of filming a USC program board event for the college news site Campus Reform without obtaining a film permit. The complaint was filed by the program board executive director. While most senators have kept quiet on the issue, one USG senator says she will vote in favor of impeachment.
I think she was very brave and really just doing her duty in her position to come forward with this complaint. I see myself at this point voting in favor of impeachment because according to those bylaws that Diana stated, I do believe that he has violated them and is not deserving of the title.
Here's how the impeachment process works. At least 8 of the 12 senators need to vote in favor of the impeachment. If the senators do not vote on the measure within 10 school days, then the complaint officially becomes void. The official vote is set to take place the Wednesday after spring break. We should point out that Ellenhorn has just 3 weeks left in his term as a USG senator. Again, he will have his fate decided by the USG Senate on March 23rd.
The USC men's basketball team is playing its first game in the Pac-12 tournament against UCLA in Las Vegas. Annenberg media reporter Scott Cook is there live as the game is about to begin. Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Sooji. I'm here in Sin City, and we're about 15 minutes away from tipping off the UCLA Bruins versus the USC Trojans. Now, this isn't the first Pac-12 tournament game of this afternoon. There have been 2 games already. And let me just tell you, the Strip, it is packed with Pac-12 fans from all over the West. Now, this is the 4th consecutive year the MGM Garden Arena is playing host to the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. Fans from all across the West are here supporting their schools, and that includes many USC fans who are expecting big things from their Trojans in this year's tournament.
It's been done since 1942, since USC has won 3 in a row in the same season against UCLA. So we are due, we're confident, we're here to support the team.
Coach Enfield absolutely is phenomenal at the 1-game series, so never put your money against him. They're going to win this thing straight out. Absolutely.
We're going to take this back to USC, man, to the Coliseum, however, to the Galen Center, however we're going to do it. We're going to take it back there, down Figueroa, have our parade, man.
The Trojans have beaten the Bruins twice this season, both times by double digits. Now that it's tournament time, it's win or go home. And if the Trojans can win tonight, they'll advance to the next round to face the number 2 seed Utah Utes, who have secured the first round bye. Now, first of all, they got to get through UCLA. We'll see if they can do that tonight. I'll be back later for an update, but for right now, back to you in the studio, Sooji.
Thanks, Scott. Fans here on campus are also anxious to watch the game against UCLA tonight. Annenberg Media's Priscilla Casper is at the 901 bar with some of those fans. Priscilla?
Thanks, guys. I'm at the 901 Bar and Grill in downtown LA. It's a favorite spot where USC fans come to watch the Pac-12 basketball tournament. Now I have one USC fan here with me. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So how exciting is it to see USC basketball doing so well this season?
You know, it's really great. When I was looking at colleges, I wanted a big sports school. Obviously, USC's got the football. Once they brought in Andy Enfield and things started to turn around, it's just great to see this program flourishing now and finally having a good year and bringing things back. You see the fans at the games, all that. It's a great atmosphere.
So what do you think the final score is going to be tonight?
Tonight, I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, we've beat UCLA twice. It's hard to beat a rival 3 times in one season. I actually personally bet with my friends it's going to overtime. So I see it being around about a 75 to 73 game tonight. USC on top.
Wow, that's close.
Very close.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much. Enjoy watching the game.
Will do.
Alrighty, well, the game is starting, so I'm going to grab a seat. And you know, I'm going to grab some fries while I'm here too. Okay, I'm Priscilla Casper reporting in downtown LA. I'll send it back to you, Eytan.
All right, Priscilla, enjoy those fries. Former Republican presidential candidate Carly Fiorina is now backing Ted Cruz for president. Fiorina's endorsement came at a Cruz rally early this morning in Miami.
Thank you. It is indeed a great privilege and pleasure to stand on the stage today. You know, I ran for the presidency because I think it's time to take our country back.
Fiorina told Cruz's supporters in Miami that she is horrified by Donald Trump and that Cruz is the only candidate capable of stopping him. Florida's primary next Tuesday could prove pivotal in this race. 99 delegates are up for grabs, and the stakes are winner-take-all. After wining and dining, journalists at a press conference with the Trump brand Steaks and Wines, Donald Trump is gearing up for lengthy interviews tonight on CNN and Fox News. Marco Rubio is struggling to secure votes in his home state as polls have him trailing behind Trump by double digits. On the Democratic side, both candidates are debating tonight in Miami. The debate comes before crucial delegate-heavy primaries that include Florida, Ohio, Illinois, and North Carolina. Bernie Sanders is running on momentum after last night's upset win in the Michigan primary. After winning Mississippi last night, Hillary Clinton is still the frontrunner for the Democratic Party with 217 delegates ahead of Bernie Sanders. Tonight's debate could prove vital in Florida ahead of next Tuesday's primary.
Nancy Reagan's family gathered for a private ceremony in Santa Monica today. After the gathering, her casket was moved to the Reagan Library in Simi Valley for a public viewing. Many onlookers watched the procession as the hearse made its way to Simi Valley. Reagan's body will lay in repose for the public to view until 7 p.m. tonight and from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Thursday. Reagan will be put to rest on Friday at the library. The public was advised about large crowds and strict security at the viewing. The library will be closed to the public this Friday for Nancy Reagan's funeral service.
A new study shows that during the first half of 2015, the number of pedestrian deaths in California increased by 7%. Researchers say during the first 6 months of 2015, 347 pedestrians were struck and killed by vehicles. This is 24 more than the number of pedestrians killed during the same period the previous year.
You know, the increase, I think, can be attributed to a number of factors. One is just the amount of folks that are out there and the different modes of transportation that people use. Also, LA isn't that pedestrian friendly or bicycle friendly, but it's really trying to be at this time.
City officials plan to make LA intersections safer by installing higher visibility crosswalks, retiming traffic signals, and adding bike lanes.
The Human Trafficking Bureau of the Sheriff's Department rescued a 20-year-old sex trafficking victim and arrested 5 suspects. The victim was kidnapped in LA County and taken to Oakland. The suspects posted her image on a prostitution website. She was rescued 4 days after her mother reported her missing.
No matter what walk of life that you come from, whether or not you consider yourself middle class, upper middle class, lower class. It's not just an issue that's confined to certain areas.
There are hundreds, if not thousands, of men, women, children who are still being trafficked in communities across Los Angeles and across the state.
Since the Trafficking Bureau was created in November, 60 victims have been rescued and 14 human traffickers arrested. Nearly 100 search warrants have been served.
After the break, we'll look into the aftermath of a natural gas explosion in Seattle that left 9 people injured.
Spring break and snowfall this weekend means it's a good time to head to the mountains and go snowboarding. Hear why you should pack more than just a helmet and boards.
And the Dodgers unveiled a new home for John Muir baseball. We'll show you what Big Blue did to make a big difference for the local high school.
Several Seattle firefighters were sent to the hospital today after a natural gas explosion in a Seattle neighborhood. The firefighters were responding to reports of a natural gas leak when a blast left 9 injured. 3 businesses were also destroyed in the explosion located just north of downtown Seattle in the Greenwood neighborhood. A spokesman for Puget Sound Energy commented on the injuries and safety concerns.
Our thoughts are with those firefighters who are injured. As a first responder ourselves, we understand the danger they face, and we respect the work they do every day on behalf of the community. What we're doing to support their effort is to make this area safe. We're doing that by shutting down the gas right here on this block. We have shut down 5 of the 6 control valves here on this block.
Residents of a nearby apartment building were evacuated following the blast, but there are no reports of any other injuries.
Protesters rallied outside the California Coastal Commission meeting while commissioners discussed who will replace the recently fired executive director Charles Lester.
Charles Lester was highly regarded by many people, and yet he was fired by the Coastal Commission, and it's still kind of a mystery why they did it. I mean, it's the real reasons really haven't come out yet.
Supporters say that the director was fired because he was not pro-business and not pro-development. It could be a year before the commission decides on a new director. It's standard to wear a helmet when snowboarding, but there is another piece of equipment people are not wearing. Annenberg Media's Kelly Rinke learns why most snowboarders continue to get wrist fractures.
A day of snowboarding can be a slippery slope and a dangerous one.
So I've separated both shoulders, missing part of this collarbone from hitting a tree.
But the most frequent injury, a wrist fracture.
You're reported 1042 on the wall.
10 wrist fractures each day on a weekend.
Snowboard instructors say this injury happens because it's a common instinct to put your hands out to break your fall. Ways to avoid this are available online.
That's why whenever I teach somebody, I always go make fists and fall on your forearms, or if you're going to fall on your back, use your butt. It's there for a reason, you know?
But that's easier said than done. Some people still land on their hands even with training, and yet hardly any snowboarders wear the very thing that prevents a wrist injury. A wrist guard. Big Bear Mountain Ski Patrol thinks 90% of snowboarders at their resort don't wear them.
I tried on my buddies the other day to be like, oh, let me see these things, right? And I was like, how do you do anything in these, man? This is like lame.
So you got a jacket, you got boots, and a snowboard strapped to you, plus whatever layers you have on you. Who wants more stuff on you?
But a recent study by an orthopedic surgeon says just one wrist guard can make a difference.
The study that we did showed 93% of kids broke the non-dominant side.
Jake Alicius is the exception. He started wearing wrist guards after breaking both wrists while snowboarding, and he hasn't had another injury since. But on this day, he decided not to wear them.
I do usually, but today, not today, because it's just a quick trip, just 2 days, and I was like with my friends, so.
In full disclosure, I'm personally interested in the story. I broke my wrist a few weeks ago snowboarding for the first time. This is an x-ray of my break after I got surgery, and I was not wearing a wrist guard before I went up the slope.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact is that when you rent your equipment, they should rent the wrist guards with the equipment, but they don't frequently do that.
Linda Goldsmith, owner of a ski rental shop in Big Bear, says she does not rent wrist guards that often. Most of the store's wrist guards are only available for purchase. She says that's because they only cost $15. but often that purchase comes too late.
Lots of people that buy them are seasoned riders because they've had an injury.
Yet doctors say buying a wrist guard before that happens can help avoid a 6-week-long recovery and paying as much as $2,500.
People really put effort into making this a thing that actually could be something that everyone does on the mountain.
But whether it becomes a thing is up in the air. For Annenberg Media, Kelly Rinke.
Eytan, wasn't today absolutely beautiful?
It truly was beautiful, Sooji, and it definitely feels like springtime. Let's go to our weather anchor, Hannah Vega, for more. Hannah?
Thank you so much, Eytan. I'm really excited for the rest of this week. Right now, we'll see our current conditions are fair, 64 degrees, and we don't have any wind right now. For tomorrow's highs, we'll head to East Los Angeles. Big Bear will be 61 degrees. Riverside will be 80 degrees. Heading over to the west side, you can see Simi Valley, 75 degrees, and Malibu is going to be at 69. In central LA, you can see it's going to be pretty chilly in around LAX and Long Beach at 68 degrees and 73 at USC. For your 5-day forecast, the weather will be really nice. You can see that on Saturday, actually, though, it's going to be 66 degrees and there might be a chance of rain. So, I bet you've all been to a USC game day and you've definitely seen this spot. Today, I take you to one of the museums at Expo Park. The Natural History Museum is one of the largest museums in the United States. Lucky for us, it's just across the street from USC. It was the first museum in the area, opening in 1913 as the Museum of History, Science, and Art. Now you can learn all about Southern California's past and present every day from 9:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. For less than $15, visitors have all-day access to the museum. Feel free to walk outside and take a break from the museum. All you need is a hand stamp to get you back inside. Inside, you can see dinosaurs, mammals, and birds. Some of the animals and their descendants still occupy the LA area. Other exhibits include a vast gem and mineral collection and an exhibition on how Los Angeles was built. Be sure to visit the museum later on this spring when the Butterfly Pavilion will be open. I really want to go back, you guys. Have you ever been?
I actually did. I volunteered there. It's a great place to be. How about you, Eytan?
I have not been. I hope to go, though, Sooji.
You definitely should. Thank you, Hannah. John Muir High School in Pasadena has a brand new baseball field thanks to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The field is dedicated to former player Jackie Robinson. Many students gathered to celebrate the occasion. Jackie Robinson attended the high school before making history as the first African-American player in the major leagues.
Los Angeles Dodgers, with a number of supporters, invested into building this amazing field for the baseball team. An amazing new scoreboard here with the number 42 on the top. You know, this is the alma mater of Jackie Robinson.
The school is in the process of naming the new field Stadium 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson's number 42 baseball jersey. So Eytan, I hear things are heating up in sports.
Yes, Sooji, I am excited to go to many games over spring break. Here's Natalie Calabat with sports. Natalie.
The number 4 ranked USC men's golf wins Southern Highlands Collegiate Tournament for a second straight victory. Men's basketball just got underway. We will have live scores coming up in just a few minutes. USC women's tennis is ready for more conference action as they head to play Stanford and Cal this weekend. Welcome back to ATVN. Tonight is a big night for men's basketball. They are currently battling UCLA in the Pac-12 tournament at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. USC started off hot, draining 4 long balls from beyond the arc, including 2 from freshman Benny Boatwright. A monster block from Jordan McLaughlin set the tone on defense as the Trojans built an early lead. Currently, the Trojans have come out to a very hot start as they have a 9-point lead on the Bruins. Benny is leading all scorers with points. Keep it up, boys. We will be checking in with Annenberg Media's Scott Cook at the end of the block for another update on the Trojans. Over to the pool, not many big splashes for the USC diving team. Today was the last day of the men's and women's NCAA zones competition. On the men's side, divers Colin Pollard, Dashiell Enos, and Dion Reed all qualified for the NCAA championships. Madison Witt will represent the women of Troy on the diving side for NC2A championships that will be held in Atlanta, Georgia next week. Coming off of a successful NC2A qualifying meet, the 4 divers will prepare for the national championships over the next coming weeks. And on to men's baseball. They are headed to Fort Worth, Texas to take on the number 11 TCU Horned Frogs. The men of Troy had a few days to regroup after the loss at Dodger Stadium. After dropping a 14-inning heartbreaker to UCLA at Dodger Stadium on Sunday, USC has had the week to regroup and prepare to face a top-ranked opponent. The Trojan men will look to use the series this weekend to get back on the rankings. After finishing off a 5-1 win over number 47 Washington State, USC women's tennis is ready to take their 2-0 start in the conference to Stanford and Cal this weekend.
We've definitely been training a lot, putting in a lot of hard work. We've been doing a lot more consistency drills than we did lately, and just a lot of repetition and just really hard drills. They're kind of boring, but mentally they wear us down a lot. But it's really good for us because a lot of times our matches end up being like that.
The women of Troy have 5 Trojans locked in with single rankings. Senior stud Juliana Olmos continues to lead the team, ranked number 25th in the nation. Following Juliana, Gabby Smith is ranked 90th, Madison Wetsby at 101, and 2 freshman standouts, Rihanna Valdez and Jessica Fayas. Number 43 women of Troy visit the number 23 Cardinal at 1:30 this Friday. And on Saturday, the Trojans will take on the number 1 Golden Bears at noon. And we'll check back with Scott Cook at the MGM Grand Arena for another update from the tournament. Scott?
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. Things are starting to get real exciting here. There's tons of both Trojan and Bruin fans here. Obviously, Angelino's taking advantage of that quick drive from LA to Vegas. Now, this is going to be a bit of a homecoming here tonight for Julian Jacobs, who is a Las Vegas native himself. The Trojans got off to an early start in this one, 11-0, and they hope to keep the tempo up. From fabulous Sin City, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Natalie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Scott, as well. And we'll look forward to keeping you updated on that. The music world today lost one of its legends. Right when we get back, we'll tell you more. The man that some call the 5th Beatle, producer George Martin, died last night at his England home. He was 90 years old. As a music producer, Martin helped the Beatles push the boundaries of popular music. Apart from the Beatles, he also worked with other influential celebrities like Celine Dion, Shirley Bassey, and Peter Sellers. We thank you for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Eytan Wallace.
And I'm Sooji. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.